Hello fellow preppers, welcome once again to the channel. Now today on the ramp in our workshop, and yes, sometimes the ramp is free to be able to look at vehicles. This one is a Mazda 2 Tamara. It's a 2013 model with a 1300cc petrol engine. And it's quite well designed and it's easy to work on. Very lightweight car, although it is a little bit weak on acceleration because it's geared towards economy rather than to give it power. So it has variable valve timing and it uses very clever Mazda technology, which has been around for quite a long time, to get the cam timed up at different times of engine revs to get the best economy out of it. And so she's in for a winter or pre-winter check over and service. Okay, so one thing that needs to be done is the alternator drive belt, water pump and everything else that it drives, auxiliary drive belt, yeah, that needs changing. And what I like about this, actually, it doesn't have an expansion tank. That's one less thing to break. But it does have a condenser, which is this container here for any overspill. When the radiator cap opens, it collects anything that might come out of the top of the radiator. Yeah, this one here, I've actually put some Halfords down to -20 super screen washing, and there's quite a lot of considerations. I'll show you this one here just for keeping the video short today. Brake fluid, okay, is hygroscopic, which means over a period of time it actually attracts moisture. The more moisture in it, the more dangerous it can be because it can boil when you apply your brakes. So here's a tester, quick test. If it goes red, you need it changed. Yeah, that's okay. However, the biggest cost on this one is going to be a tyre. Tyre treads look okay, but there's a cut down to cord there, which is an MOT failure. Now the belt, maybe if you've never done one before, you think, oh no, this is quite hard to do, but it's not, because there's nothing stopping it from removing it at all. This one is on a Y7, which is year 7. Now if you're a prepper, you want to change your belts, cut your service intervals in half, whereas this is correct at the time. It is perished, as you can see here. There are cracks and the rubber's going hard. The next thing will happen here is the belt will start to slip. Yeah, so that needs to be replaced, even though the car's only at 31,000 miles. So the Poly V belt, 6PK 1842, Dayco one. Dayco is the best for Poly V belts and timing belts. Yeah, this is what we are putting on. Okay, and 1842 is the length of the Poly V belt. Okay. So you should always have a healthy mistrust of parts people. Check the length against the old belt. If it's okay, then you go ahead and fit it. If not, then you have to question why it's wrong. Yeah. So it's quite easy to do. Unfortunately, it's impossible to show you how to reroute them, because you have to work that out yourself. This is part and parcel of the puzzle of being a mechanic, isn't it? Is remembering how things came off and putting them back on the right way. And of course, if you have a belt let go on the roadside and you don't have Google to help you, then this is where you have to work it out and route the belt so you can get underway again. Best advice here is to take your belt off and put it back on again and just practice it. So the spanner I'm using, it's that easy to do, is a long aircraft spanner, we call them, or just a long reach spanner, which is like this. It's a ratchet one end, 14mm. And you need a long reach spanner which is straight and not cranked to pull the adjuster to be able to get the belt on. Okay, so in this case it's 14, usually they're 15mm when you pull the adjuster up, and not all of them are like this. But you can see you can't put a breaker bar and a socket on there because it will hit against the chassis. So this is the type of spanner to use. These are from Blue Spot Tools. I'm not promoting this. There is a video about this, and they are really good for the price, actually. They're a good go-to spanner, ratchet one end and ring spanner at the other. And there is a purpose behind this. And below there's a link to a video which I'll tell you about it. Yeah. But overall, they're actually good spanners, and I love them, and I'm converted to them. It's like being converted to Christianity, isn't it? But yeah, other than that type of spanner, which you need, there are possibly maybe guards to remove on this Mazda. The Mazda 2, I used a 10mm socket extension and 3/8 drive to remove the guard, or the shit guard, that was underneath here. Yeah, so all vehicles are different. They might have a complete plastic tray underneath, but yeah, so this is ready. This is going to be less trouble for the winter. Low mileage, 31,000 miles. Yeah, it's pretty good, actually. It's in good condition. We'll keep it that way. So the moral of the story is pay attention to the schedules. If it's a service interval, then as a prepper you want to halve that service interval so you don't have any nasty surprises for you when you least want them. You're either going to go by mileage if you're doing a lot of miles in your vehicle, or by yearly or age-related schedule if you're not doing many miles and you're having the vehicle sit up for any length of time. It's great to own a new vehicle or to work on people's vehicles that are new, because there's actually not that much work to do. It's just simple maintenance checks and maybe an oil change and tyre pressures. But as a vehicle gets older, lubricants start to wear up, and they can also be contaminated from the environment, especially on gearboxes. They're generally now sealed for life. The lubricant is lifelong lubricant, but if it gets contaminated and you don't check it, you don't know whether the vehicle component is in good condition, and then it leads to component failure or major component failure. So in the case of this is a drive shaft which is sealed for life. It does have lubricant in it, and the bearing has failed, which the drive shaft was knocking. Actually, both of these drive shafts were knocking, so they needed to be replaced. There is lubricant in it, it's greased, and this is a thing that's overlooked, especially when technicians or DIYers are doing repairs on the vehicles. They may remove the component, which gives them the opportunity to do maintenance on it, but they don't do it. It's just a done thing because it looks sealed. So same with wheel bearings. They have a finite life, and it depends on how the vehicle is used as how long the wheel bearings are going to last, and of course they're all sealed for life, which means you have to change the components usually when they start to give signs of failure. Okay, there's an old English saying which is a stitch in time saves 9, which means if you have signs of leakage, you have a seal or a component starting to fail, it needs to be changed before it leads onto a major component failure. Just something to think about.